What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. I am super happy to have you guys here today again because there's a trend right now amongst Airbnb content creators, influencers, if you will. I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm just a guy on the internet telling you what I'm doing so that hopefully it can help you out in some way and sort of keep me accountable to myself. But across the internet, there are all of these influencers that are posting these Airbnb or VRBO or short-term rental properties, however you like to call it, that just have absolutely insane amenities. And when I look at some of these, you're looking at like putt-putt golf courses, arcades that would rival your local Dave & Buster's, barrel saunas, just crazy things that you starting out, or maybe you've been in this for a while and you're looking for ways to differentiate yourself. And you're looking at this and you're saying, these things are pretty extravagant. They cost a lot of money. They have a lot of upkeep, associated with them. And I've heard people talk about this in the various owners groups that I frequent. You'll find that there's a lot of folks that are saying that unless you have all of these super extravagant amenities, and again, there's things that I probably can't even think of right now that you've seen out there and you're like, I just can't compete with that either at the moment, or I just don't want to compete like that. And they're saying that you need to have these things in order to even be competitive, to make it in a market. For example, like the Smoky Mountains market. I hear that all the time, where you have to have tremendously over the top amenities in order to be competitive in that market. And today I'm going to help sort of dispel that myth that you have to have these wildly over the top properties, these essentially palatial estates that are filled with just the most ridiculous amenities that you could ever come across, and that you can do well with just regular properties that are in demand, that are appropriate for the area that you're trying to rent them for. And then I'm going to offer you just 4 regular low to mid cost amenities that I really like, that I think helps our Airbnb portfolio do very well, and are things that you could incorporate to probably anywhere across the United States, or really anywhere that you are renting things. And now I'm not going to take away from some of the things that are going on as far as these amenities. Anything that you add to your place that's going to make you stand out from another place is definitely an upside for you, and it's something that you can offer and something you can probably charge more for. And in some cases, it's very, very appropriate. For example, I know that Rob from VRBO put a pickleball court out in his Arizona property. It's a giant place that he's looking to host events at, so that makes sense. But sometimes with these like little 2-bedroom cabins in Gatlinburg and such, like adding things like a barrel sauna, or an extravagant arcade system, or like a putt-putt course of some sort, the juice may not be worth the squeeze, and you just have to always, kind of use your own judgment on if that's going to be something that's going to work out for you. But what I want to show you all is our cabin that we call Whispering Woods. When we purchased this one, this is a run-of-the-mill cabin, and we've had it since 2021, so we have several years under our belts on this thing, and it is just like sort of the quintessential cabin in the woods in Gatlinburg. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's actually fairly spacious. It has decks. It does not have a view, which is something that I would have liked to have had, but we got this at a very good price in 2021. At the time, it was $469,000, and we got it at like a 4 and let's say a quarter, 4 and like 3.75 interest rate, so the payment is relatively low on that. Now, this isn't even a real log cabin like our other two. This has, like wood, like log look siding. Like I said, it doesn't have a view. It is a basic thing. It's got some nice features in it: granite countertops, hardwood floors. It has an electric fireplace, which I'm not really a huge fan of electric fireplaces. But the thing is that this cabin has consistently performed. It has consistently done about $70,000 a year. And I just recently put a video out about all the gross and net income that we have made from all 3 of our cabins. I think it's the video immediately prior to this one, and it includes this one in it. And we've only done a few things over the years in order to really increase the revenue, or try to bring in more revenue. And it is one of the amenities that we're going to talk about here in a minute. The least costly amenity that you could add that actually is probably one of the fewest amenities added, and that's being pet friendly, dog friendly, which we're going to get to here in a minute. But my point with this cabin is that even though it doesn't have insane views, it does sit up on a hill. It does overlook like treetops, but we do not have any mountain views in an area that is typically a mountain view place where you come for mountain views. But what it does have is it is an all wood cabin. It has that cabin feel to it. It is nestled in the woods. There's not too many folks around. If the leaves are on the trees, you can barely see anyone. If in the wintertime, it's still very private, so it offers privacy. It is the right property in the right area, and it has 3 of the 4 of these amenities that we're going to get to here in a second: hot tub, fire pit, or hot tub, cable TV, and it is pet friendly. And folks will come and rent the place. You are able to rent it at a reasonable rate, so you always have people staying in it, and that is the kind of place that is going to do well in any rental market. If you're on the beach, if you just have a regular old beach home that fits the vibe of the area, that looks like a beach home, feels like a beach home, you probably aren't going to need to have insanely over-the-top amenities in order for that thing to rent and do well. Now, anything that you add on top of that will probably end up doing well, but for this particular place, it fits the needs of the renter. Now, our 2 other cabins, they have views. One of them has absolutely amazing views. Those end up making more money because they do have that amenity, so to speak. But this one still definitely holds its own, makes us money and equity, and gets us tax benefits every single year. Even though it doesn't have every single amenity that you could potentially ever think of. Now, there are 4 amenities that I think that you can add that are low to mid cost, and we're going to go from the highest cost to the lowest cost, sort of maybe lowest hassle. I don't know if it would work like that. But these are amenities that I think that you can add to any home, anywhere, probably in the world. And the first one is a hot tub. This is actually basically a requirement in the Smoky Mountains. You go to a cabin, it needs to have a hot tub. If you don't have a hot tub, you're just not going to get rented nearly as much. I mean, like your bookings in gross will probably be 20% less than the exact same house, cabin, whatever, that has a hot tub. But even if you are at a beach market, even if you are in any market, add a hot tub to your place. It's going to boost the amount of clicks you get, the amount of revenue that you make. The initial cost is $6,000, $10,000, $12,000 to get something put in, depending on how wild you go with it. The ongoing cost, the electric cost with these newer hot tubs, they're much more efficient than the ones back from the 80s, is very little. Once you train your cleaners to know how to do it, we drain, clean, and refill every single guest. That's not a big deal. Doesn't really use a lot of water. Doesn't cost a lot. But when we are going to Florida in February, and even though we're going to be down in the Sarasota area, we wanted to make sure that we had a hot tub at the place that we rented. So we specifically sought out places that had hot tubs, because we've stayed in places that didn't before. And it can get up to the 70s in February in South Florida, but at the night times you're down in the 60s, you may be in the 50s. You're going to want to have a hot tub and to attract those bookings so people can still be outside and enjoy that area in the wintertime. Again, Smokies, I would assume other markets like North Carolina Mountain Market or any of the like Rocky Mountain markets, I assume that having a hot tub is probably a pretty big attraction as well. The second is a fire pit. People love fire pits or an outside fireplace. We have a place that has an outdoor covered wood fireplace. I'll put that on the screen right now. It's Moonlight Ridge. People come from far and wide to book this property. They say they book it for the outdoor fireplace. They also love the indoor wood fireplace. And a lot of people want to get rid of wood fireplaces because they think that they're a fire hazard. And they can be if they're not used correctly, if the chimneys aren't being maintained. But, in the Smoky Mountains, a lot of people like to talk about the wildfires, none of which were caused by fireplaces or fire pits. It was all caused by careless matches with the large fire, and there was another one where power lines blew down. arced out and cause a bunch of fires from that. But a fire pit or a fireplace, people love that stuff. This is roasting marshmallows, just having a fire, sitting around having a couple adult beverages. People love that. This third one is going to be kind of controversial for a lot of folks because we've gotten away from it in recent years, and I think that a lot of folks are probably going to want to come back to it. And this is cable TV, whether it's satellite TV, cable TV, whatever. It is simple and easy for everyone. We get a lot of VRBO bookers, and we find that they are typically older folks. And so all this stuff about streaming services, logging into your own streaming services, even if you have Roku TV set up in guest mode, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now listen, I'm only 41 years old. Some of you guys are going to be like, that's pretty old. A lot of you guys are going to be like, that's not so old. I find signing into these streaming services, having all these streaming services, to be a giant pain in the butt. I don't even have cable TV or most streaming services at my own home. But when I go on vacation and I'm spending $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 a night on a place, I expect to be able to just quickly turn on the cable TV, put on something, the Disney Channel or whatever, while to entertain the kids, while we unload the car, cook, do whatever. Be able to quickly turn on the Weather Channel, and I think that cable TV has been a very large influence in folks booking our places versus places that don't have it. We actually are advertising this very high up on our listing now so that people can see right when they're coming down that we have cable TV that's very familiar, that's very easy for folks to use. It has all their sports stuff that you would get on regular cable. So if you get a sports nut coming in, they're going to be able to watch the thing. You're not going to be getting your phone blown up about how they can't get their sporting events on because you don't have any type of cable TV. That could be controversial. Leave your comments down below if you agree with me or not. And heck, a lot of these streaming services, are getting just as expensive as cable TV. And so it's like, what the hey at some point. The fourth one, and this is going to be the quickest one to do probably and the least cost to set up, there may be some ongoing cost, is to make your place pet friendly. What we found was in the Smoky Mountains, only 1 in 5 cabins, rentals, whatever, were pet friendly. And we are only dog friendly. We don't want cats. Cats pee all over the place, it seems, and make messes. But dogs, we haven't had any problems with. We added this as an amenity to our Whispering Woods property last year to boost bookings, to boost revenue, and it has done both of those things. Bookings are up. Revenue is up. We charge a pet fee, which is actually a little bit higher than what our cleaner charges to clean that. And so if we end up down the road needing to replace a couch or they chew up something, we have that built-in money there where we can use that to replace those items and sort of offset the cost of having pets. And so I think that those are 4 amenities that you guys can use that are pretty quick and easy to put in for the most part. The hot tub and the fire pit are going to require a bit of construction, wiring, things of that nature. The thing is that the most important part about having good rentals, getting booked, is having a place that is well showcased, that has great pictures, great description, and great reviews because you've been a good host. You communicate well, you keep your stuff working, up to date, clean, you have good cleaners, good systems. If you can do those, you're going to get the 5-star reviews that are going to make you get more bookings, and it becomes a positive booking 5-star review spiral. And you don't necessarily need to have like ridiculous, over the top, crazy amenities in order to bring in folks and just make your property successful and make it make money. So guys, if you found this helpful, if you're still here at 13 minutes and 33 seconds, please hit the thumbs up button for me. Subscribe down below. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and I hope that this gives you something that you can use in your own properties.